It must be the most anticipated, or if not the most, probably because of the certain other food company giant's upcoming device, the second most anticipated gadget of the year. Xiaomi's rep was put on stakes after their miserable failure with the Note 7. This year, they had a lot of expectations from their inbound fans, so they had to come up with something big, and well, here it is, the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. Let's take a good look at this beauty and see what they have put together to draw everyone's attention. Let us start off with the most attractive thing about the phone and also its main USP, the build and design. Samsung has fine-tuned the hardware of the phone to utmost excellence. The gorgeous infinity display that makes the phone almost seem bezel-less gives this piece of tech a look that is most certain to turn heads. The basic elements remain the same. It's a metal frame with glass on both sides. The back glass generally curves towards the edges, making for a 3D feel, and the front panel of Gorilla Glass is also bearing the same aspect, with the edges almost literally curving the entire amount to meet the back panel and make the phone feel like a single body. The left houses the volume rockers and the Bixby button, about which we will talk later in the video. The right houses the power button, and the bottom is where you will find the nice to see 3.5mm headphone jack, USB-C port, the primary microphone and the speaker. And the top houses the secondary microphone and the hybrid slot, which either takes in two SIMs or a nano SIM and a micro SD. Now let's talk about the gorgeous infinity display. Samsung says that the screen to body ratio is 84.4%. That's amazing. Now the aspect ratio is 18.5:9, so the display is a lot taller. Anyway, the Super AMOLED HDR display is just amazing. That one word should be enough to say it. Right from the brightness to the sharpness and absolutely amazing color reproduction, everything is fantastic. Then as usual Samsung, you have a lot of extras baked in the software to tweak to make the experience even better. You can change the color temperature from the given presets. Then you have something called full screen apps, from where you can choose which apps will run in a new 18.9 aspect ratio, and of course you have the edge screen. Here you have edge lighting, where the edges of the screen light up whenever you receive new notifications, and of course the edge panels, about which we will talk later in detail in the software section. This is to show you the panels. Now something new from Samsung, and which I find to be one of the coolest features, is the ability to change the screen resolution. You can actually change the screen resolution from Quad HD to Full HD or FHD, and then all the way down to HD, which is great. Last but not least, let's talk about the always on display, which has gotten a lot better, and now it shows more info and can be used to display more things. Talking about software and what's new, Samsung is calling the latest OS Samsung Experience, and this is Samsung Experience 8.1 running atop Android 7.0 Nougat. Multi-window, Samsung's very wise trump card, is present and works as good as it always does. And when used horizontally, it is able to display more, since the entire infinity display is put to use. Even though with Nougat, multi-window is present on other phones, Samsung's version is still superior and makes multitasking as effective as it can get. So yeah, I'm definitely a very big fan of Samsung's old but one of the best multitasking tool, the multi-window. Let's talk edge screen. There has been a very nice update to the edge panel, and now the functionality is much better. You have the smart select option and are given 3 ways to either capture an image from the screen or create a GIF animation. It works well and is a nice way to quickly capture and save any image. Then you have People's Edge, where you can add up to 5 contacts and their contact information, and whenever you get any messages or calls, the edge screen will light up with the color assigned to that particular contact. Next you have Apps Edge, which, as you might already have guessed it, is the edge panel, where you can save a number of shortcuts to your favorite apps. It's a nice way to quickly get to an app that you use very often. And so these are the panels basically that you have, along with some other widgets like calendar and stuff. Theme store is present, and the number of themes available is a lot more now, and it's nice to be able to theme your phone with some nice themes. In the always on display option now, you can choose from different layouts and different combos of what will appear on the screen. You can even add photos from your gallery. Then you have Secure Folder, where you can keep your important data and files safe and encrypted. It's a nice software addition. Samsung Pass is a nice new feature, wherein you can keep some of the apps that you want secure and authenticate the access to them through your biometric fingerprint recognition. In the advanced features section, you have features like Smart Stay, which keeps the screen turned on when you are viewing the screen. one-handed mode, which is self-explanatory. Then you have fingerprint sensor gesture, which lets you use the fingerprint scanner to scroll down the notifications toggle. This feature has been there on other OEMs like Huawei and Lenovo, but now even Samsung has utilized their fingerprint scanner to use this feature. It works well and is a nice addition. Then you have only some pre-installed apps and not much bloat, which is great. The Samsung proprietary apps are present like Samsung Connect, Samsung Health, which has been given a nice face overhaul, Galaxy apps, Samsung Gear to connect to your Gear device, and Samsung Members, where you are able to get FAQs and answers to your queries. The very heavily marketed assistant of Samsung is present to the leftmost screen where previously briefing used to live. The page layout is fairly decent looking and you will see things like sports and other genres of your likes news aggregated, and then your recently clicked pics and videos will be showcased as moments. Then you have themes to quickly select any and a lot more. As of now, it's still in need of some improvements. So since this is the first version, I will give Samsung a pass. It will get better over time. The button on the left below the volume rockers is meant solely for Bixby. Double click anytime and here comes Bixby. Performance on the S8 is very splendid. The Exynos 8890 powers the S8 Plus in the devices sold here. It's built on a 10nm process and is an acceptably big boost in the performance aspect over its predecessor. There are 4 high-powered custom cores clocked at 2.3 GHz and 4 power-efficient Cortex A53 cores clocked at 1.7 GHz. The overall performance was great. There weren't any noticeable lags and the UI operated much smoothly. This is also thanks in large to the UI being much better and responsive. The UI is absolutely improved from previous touchpads and it also looks a lot better. It's a very appreciated improvement made by Samsung and hope that they only improve from here on. Anyway, the 8890 is a very fast chip and it helps things running smoothly. Apps loaded real quick and heavy web pages were rendered very smoothly as well. It's most certainly one of the fastest phones right now, given a close competition only by Pixel. RAM management too was great. The S8 Plus is packing 4 GB, which is sufficient for smooth functioning. A 6 GB version is sold at select markets. So yeah, the performance holds up really well and the S8 Plus also manages to remain cool even when put under heavy load, which is great. The Snapdragon 835 model, which is sold in the States and other markets, should perform similarly, and so you shall not worry about having to buy the Exynos variant. The phone definitely performs as expected and the ability to have a Samsung phone that is so fluid is really a boon. The performance should hold up in the time to come as well. It does look very promising. And I say this because Samsung phones in the past had this record of not being able to maintain its solid performance. Over a period of time, its performance would take a dip and that was just very frustrating. It has improved since the last few iterations, and since the software side of things are seeing improvements, it's possible that the S8 and S8 Plus will hold strong. The continuous efforts from Samsung seems to have done the trick, and so we hope that this is a direction that Samsung takes going ahead. The S8 should be a fine way to start their progress, and Samsung experience should be the guide to build a platform of really wise and meaningful operating system skin to be adopted by Samsung. Talking of gaming, the GPU duties are handled by the Mali G71 MP20. It's a beast and it shows. No matter what game you wish to play, you will be able to do so with absolutely no stutters or frame drops. So gaming is a no worry and a treat for sure. Moving on to the camera, the UI is very new. Samsung has added a lot of new modes and features. The very nicely packed mode consists of everything from ISO to white balance to shutter speed to focus dial to even a color temperature mode. This is really the full suite and Samsung has surely done it because of the fierce competition in this regard from LG. Though the same manual modes are not available for videos, it's still quite pleasant. Then in the modes you have panorama, which works well, and the shots coming out too are very nice. some of the best panoramic shots. Very nicely stitched and very good overall quality. Then you have selective focus. This works better than the S7 and the shots and the software seems to do a better job. You can select from these three modes, which are near focus, far focus and pen focus, which keeps both the subjects in the foreground as well as background in focus. This feature is present on a lot of phones these days, and the ones which use dual camera lenses to create this effect certainly produce better results. But among those that use software for this feature, for this effect, Samsung's results happen to be the best. Then you have virtual shot, which creates shots that cover the entire 360 dimension of an object. It's a feature that was introduced with the S6 and it's a cool feature to have. It works well and is a fancy feature exclusive to Samsung. Then you have time lapse and other modes like food, which is used to take pics of food and etc. Video recording is available up to 4K, and videos taken in 4K benefit from both OIS and software stabilization. However, you can record 4K videos only up to the length of 10 minutes. The front camera too has modes like HDR and then some other fancy additions like spotlight, skin tone, large eyes, etc. You can record videos from the front camera up to 1080p. Now, talking about the shots, they were brilliant. Very good color reproduction, spot on white balance and good exposure. f1.7 aperture makes for some beautiful bokeh images. The wide aperture also helps get better shots in low light since it allows more light to come in. HDR seems to have only a subtle effect, but it's not that bad since the photos taken with HDR off themselves were more often than not able to handle dynamic range properly. The front snapper 2 is much better than what it used to be, and the shots coming out from the front snapper 2 are quite nice. Now the iris scanner makes a return from the Note 7. It works well and unlocks the phone really fast, but there are two annoyances with it. First, in order to unlock the phone using the iris scanner, you first need to hit the power button and then swipe up and then scan your eyes. Well, that consumes quite a lot of time. And second annoyance is that you need the phone to be held really close to your eyes for scanning your eyes. You hold it just a little further and it doesn't work. The fingerprint scanner, however, works just as it should and is a faster way of unlocking the phone. Its accuracy and speed are great, only its placement up top near camera on a phone this size is not great. Call quality and data reception were great, and the phone supports almost all LTE bands, so hanging on to any network shouldn't be a problem. The earpiece sounds good, and the speakers too this time around are a lot louder and fairly clearer. Battery life is very satisfactory with the S8 Plus. It's a 3500 mAh capacity, and even though it's powering a really large and high-res display, the SoC helps reduce battery drain by a lot amount since it's built on a 10nm process. You will be easily able to last one full day of moderate to heavy use with the S8 Plus. So, this was our review of the S8 Plus. We think that it's really a great device. Samsung has covered all grounds and worked and improved only upon those aspects which were needed to be worked upon, and at the same time added enough elegance and charm factor into the mix to make this S8 a worthy package. It had to do something to cover all losses from the Note 7, and it seems to have done enough to make repents and re-establish its place among the top dogs. So that is it. This is Spontan here from Tech Unique signing off. Do keep tuning in to our channel Tech Unique and drop us a comment and let us know what you think. And subscribe if you haven't already. See ya, we'll meet ya soon.